Pepperidge Farm goldfish is a snack food for which 40% of its calories come from fat. Rolled gold pretzels receive 9% of their calories from fat. How many grams of each would be needed to make 620 grams of a snack mix for which 15% of the calories are from fat? The first step in the 5-step process is to familiarize yourself with the problem. We'll let G equal the amount of goldfish, the number of grams. I've written down 40% of the calories come from fat. P is the amount of pretzels, the number of grams of pretzels, and I've written down 9% of those calories come from fat. And we want a mixture that's 620 grams total. Second step in the process is to translate the words into math. Well, what we know is that the total number of grams has to be 620. In other words, P plus G has to equal 620. The other piece of information we have is that the total amount of fat or calories from fat is to be 15%. So therefore, what we have is 9% times P, 0.09 P, plus 0.4 G has to equal the 15%, 0.15, times the 620 grams. So this is the number of grams that are fat from pretzels, the number of grams that are fat from goldfish, and that has to equal the total number of grams of fat in the mix. All right, whenever we have decimals in an equation, we like to clear those, and that means we would have to multiply both sides of this equation by 100. So what we would have is 9P plus 40G equals 15 times 620. Before I multiply the 15 times 620, which we certainly can do, I'm going to save that to show you a little bit of a mathematical trick. Now, we have two equations with two variables. P plus G equals 620 and 9P plus 40G equals 15 times 620. The third step in the process is to carry out, in other words, solve. We have a system of equations. The easiest method probably here is to use elimination. Let's multiply both sides of this equation by -9, which will then allow us to eliminate the p's. Writing that result here, -9p minus 9g equals -9 times 620. 9p minus 9p, of course, is 0. 40g minus 9g is 31g. That's equal to, interestingly enough, let's look. We have 15 of these minus 9 of these. That leaves us 6 of these. In other words, 6 times 620. That was the little bit of a trick I wanted to show you. I'm still not going to multiply those out because G is equal to 6 times 620 divided by 31. I want you to notice 31 will divide into 620 20 times. And now 6 times 20 is 120. That tells us that the number of grams of goldfish is 120. Substituting that into the equation P plus G equals 620, that's the first equation that I wrote up there, we find that P is equal to 500. You can check this answer, which is the fourth step in the process, to make sure that those numbers give us the correct amount of fat, which I've done, and it is correct. So now we state the answer, that we would need 500 grams of pretzels and 120 grams of goldfish.